All right. This is going to be interesting looking at two different cameras. Hopefully this isn't, hopefully this won't be too distracting. I've got my Instagram people and I've got my YouTube people. And we're all here hanging out. I wanted to come on here and share some of myself with you. And I'm going to just get situated a little bit more. And hopefully we'll be good to go. Let's see. Where are my mallets? I am going to be playing my tongue drum for a part of this. Oh, already have a person watching. Hello, person watching. Care to share your name, where you're from? I have been pretty sleep deprived the last couple of days, just wanting to veg out, not having any sleep issues, thank God. I'm just going to bed pretty late, and I'm the kind of person that is very sensitive to disruptions like that. I've learned time and time again, but I think more so this current time, that I am, deeply affected by a lack of sleep. My body really doesn't like that. And in that, and all the work that I've been doing, and kind of what I touched on my Instagram stories yesterday, was, my mental health whenever I'm not well rested is not, the best, because then the negative narratives kind of take over. And it becomes like this, just like unconscious script, right? And the thoughts that bother me and the things that I think and feel aren't really the most positive. And I have been just watching them. And I think there's been this shift in the depersonalization from it, although still also being human and being affected by these negative scripts. And I don't know, I just wanted to bring that up because it's a very interesting perspective to be in when you're just the witness of something and also the experiencer of something. So it's like you're on the stage of life, you're the actor on the stage of life, and you're also the audience member. And kind of makes life a little bit less serious. And it also, at the same time, gives you permission to be upset and to be a crybaby about things, because physiologically, you're having a really hard time. Chemically, hormonally, just imbalanced. And it's just been freeing to know that, because all of the work that I've been doing for so long now, it's starting to become its own autonomic ship, if that makes sense. Autonomic is a kind of something in the brain. It's becoming more automatic, and realizing not just the work that I've been doing, but the things that I've come to know and understand about my own healing, and just how my own body works physically and chemically. And it feels good to not feel like it has to be a constant struggle and something that I have to constantly be exerting myself to fix or do something about, because I think I've spent a lot of my life thinking that I have to just like strive so hard to just get a crumb. And I'm realizing that I don't have to do that at all. And that everything is exactly everything is already here for me to experience and to have and to tap into, far beyond some new age hippie concept that's very like just words. It's more than that. It's something, I think, once you like sit with that realization of like pure physics, like purely like this is pure physics that has been tested and proven, like how the universe works, law of attraction kind of things. And when you kind of realize that and you give it room to integrate, however long that can take, things just hit differently. You walk through life a little bit differently. You carry yourself a little bit differently. And things begin to become really real. Real in the sense of really embodied. Because things are less so much out there. Even though things are still happening out there. But it makes you more connected and more glitch. It gets you more intimate. Like you become more intimate with these things that are swirling in your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, that are grabbing your attention and like taking up a lot of space, like a lot of space in your head. And for me, whenever I'm sleep deprived, or maybe even not sleep deprived, there's a lot that comes in and out of my head. I'm a thinker. I live in my head a lot. Probably because of some disassociating habits from childhood, and having just to be on alert a lot. Yeah, and that's changing a lot too. Like as I'm doing more of this work, I'm becoming a lot more embodied. And so why I actually wanted to start this video and kind of shifted into how I was going to share this, but the original talking point was I receive text messages. Thank you, Miss Honey, for your comment. I appreciate you. I receive text messages from Dr. Nicole LePera. She's the holistic psychologist on Instagram, the.holistic.psychologist on Instagram. And I have her book and been following her work for a while, but more in depth recently in the last couple of weeks, months. And there was a text that I received that really hit me deep. I was like, oh, okay. And I just kept moving on with my day. And I shared it on my Instagram stories, and it was, I'm paraphrasing, but it's something along the lines of like, when you do what's best for you, it may not feel comfortable at first when you've kind of spent your whole life worrying about what's best for other people, being a people pleaser. And really resonate with that. And it's just been like replaying on repeat in my head, like that text, like what, and for like in all of my relations, really, since I read it, which was like yesterday or the day before. I think it was yesterday. And I was like, wow, okay, yeah, people pleasing. And it's just so funny the way the synchronicity works, because previously that day or the day before, I came across the video on YouTube. Like it just started playing after another one that was this psychologist that I also have followed in the past, talking about her journey with people pleasing. And I was just like, didn't think about it too much. That text came through, didn't think about it. Right now it's all clicking. And it's clicking because of various reasons, but I think for me, I've been having a hard time making decisions on things, and like deciding on like what would be best for me in a situation when it comes to like integrating, or not, I'm sorry, not integrating, but interacting with other people, like just like regular day-to-day scheduling, or delegating like when to hang out with somebody, and how like challenging that can be for me. And I think before I would like to chalk it up to just me being a Libra, or just dysregulated, or just weird, or whatever. And I realized I'm like, whoa, that makes sense now. The people pleasing thing, because of childhood trauma. And it's just so interesting to me that how we were raised and how safe that we felt in childhood to be ourselves and express ourselves and communicate ourselves and how we feel and our experiences really dictates everything beyond that point in life. And it just makes life a little bit more complex and nuanced, and makes things a little bit more intriguing to kind of like really understand yourself. And in particular, what came after that text message that I received was a video that I watched with Will Smith talking about his son, Jaden. And there was a question that was asked to him about, what do you see in your son, Jaden, that is exactly like you, and something that's like a completely opposite of you? Like compare and contrast you and your son. And he said something that was like almost identical. And then the contrasting point was how secure Jaden is in himself, and that he doesn't give a flying fuck what other people think about him. Like he is so secure in himself, so like completely authentically who he is. And Will was saying like that was like the opposite of how he was, and was very insecure, was very like cared deeply about what other people thought about him. And it all just kind of clicked for me, because I know Will Smith's background. I've watched a lot of Red Table Talks. I've like, I know a little bit about what he's shared in his life story growing up, and the abuse and environment that he was raised in. And I was like, well, yeah, of course that was the case, because your son had a very secure attachment to his caregiver, his sole caregiver was his mom, and all of his needs physically were met in his life. And with Will, he watched his dad beat his mom. Poverty, I think was a thing living in Philadelphia, if I can remember correctly. And a lot of what Will's personality traits were surviving strategies, like coping mechanisms and strategies to, survive. And that's the case for so many of us that weren't raised in such a securely attached way. And I like to think of it as like what we were gifted with, like these strategies, these coping mechanisms that aren't actually serving us in our present day because they are byproducts of a time where it may have been necessary to have and use these mechanisms and coping skills and strategies. And we don't live where that was necessary and where that served us. But the beauty of our body is kind of centered around patterns as a survival strategy, because we are mammals, we are animals, we are complex human beings rooted in biology. And I think I'm just saying all of that to say, like, it brought up a lot for me and like how the insecurities that I have around being a mother and the lifestyle that I have, and that I am a single parent, and just like the insecurities that I have on a daily basis of being a parent, and just feeling inadequate and feeling like a failure. And knowing that I'm doing the best that I can and having to accept that like that's good enough, even though it doesn't feel like it. And I think that stems from like, I feel like my childhood was so distraught, and just, it's not even so much what happened on the external. It's like how I felt. And I just felt deeply insecure and deeply like unsecured. But I had myself. And I know it's not in my control. Like the fate of my son, the well-being and fate of my son is not completely and solely dependent on just me as his mother and what I choose and choose not to do as his caregiver and how I choose to treat him. But it feels like it because I feel so strongly about not having him be insecure about himself in the ways that I have had to deal with. And so, and with that being said, I'm having to realize and to really accept that it does take a village, not just to raise a child, but to like raise people and help people. Like, we can't do this alone. And I can't just complain about it anymore. I think I've moved on from that. And even though the thoughts still come of like the have and have not narrative and the victim perpetrator narrative, it's not like I have to, but I'm being made aware that. And what circles me back to my point from the beginning is that everything that I need is right here around me. And that I have to be responsible for myself to ask what is like the hardest thing for me to do. Like asking for help when I've had to my whole life be like really insular and helping other people. And so there's an interesting balance that we have to walk with this information that we're coming to understand as conscious human beings, of like, we are very much responsible for how we choose to operate in the world. And at the same time, we do the best with what we have and what we know. And I guess more recently, with the information that I've been receiving about being a creator of your reality, and I cringe a little bit when I say that, because you can't spiritually bypass the human experience and all the complexities and nuances that come into being of that. It's like, okay, yes, we're not victims of our lives. And that can be a hard pill to swallow. We are active participants of our lives. And doing away with this paradigm of everything being your fault and being super toxic and spiritually bypassing and compartmentalizing parts of your being in your life. It's a very fine line to walk in your mind, in your understanding and your perception of these universal truths. And so I guess instead of trying to just understand it all, the only thing that we can do is walk the path of utmost integrity. And that's an unfolding journey in and of itself. And again, I'm reiterating, the only way we can know and know what resonates with us is if we do it. So this is me doing it. I've been really afraid and kind of stuck in the people pleasing mindset of like not really thinking about what I want, even though I want to share, I want to connect, but it's like, how? Because I'm one person doing a lot of things, and I need to ask for help. And so just trying to balance like my actual life, physical life around me, and my responsibilities there, and what I feel really passionate and called to do, which is to share and to help integrate and heal all of us. That's my passion. That's my purpose. To be myself with utmost integrity, to be there for you. And that's why I have this drum. That's why I have that drum. That's why I have this drum. That's why I have this phone. This is why I have this computer. This is why I have that ring light. This is why I have so much. I have so much. I've been singing a lot and sharing that, and I feel like my voice is a huge part of that healing for myself, and just like to just give it all away to those who need it. And it's such an honor to be surrounded with so many beautiful and talented and deeply connected artists that write music and share it with the world. And for those that I've come across and like have been touched deeply by the words of their songs and been able to like learn them and share them, and that feels really good to be able to offer that to the world. And I guess that brings me to my Patreon and my vision for that, and basically have this idea of like it being this hub, this community hub for all of us to gather in, and where I will be. It's all still formulating, but what I see is that it being a hub that I share these healing sessions that I'm been seeing in my mind of very intentionally focused ritual. And I made a video the other day on my fancy camera talking more about this, and so I'm going to share that on my YouTube video, or on my YouTube channel after. And I just want to invite you all that feel called to join me there and to pay what you feel like you can and what you want to pay from your heart. I'm pretty sure, and if this isn't the case, just message me and I'll correct it. But I'm pretty positive that you can choose what you want to donate. Like I have the tiers set at a suggested donation, like your options, even though you're all going to be getting the same to a certain extent. There's one or two or three of them that are a bigger price jump, because those will be ones that choose to work one-on-one with me, and we're going to be doing this one-on-one together. And but yeah, that's going to be my hub for healing. And we're going to be meeting regularly through Zoom, where I'm going to be doing a lot of this and much more. Again, held in a really sacred container. Thank you, Kate. So yeah, I'm getting a little jumbled because this is a little bit uncomfortable for me to talk about or to promote, but this is a part of my work. And again, if you feel called or curious, my Patreon is going to be linked in the bio of my Instagram, and it's linked under this video as well. And I would love to have you join in and be a part of this really interesting experiment for me in really stepping into myself and all the work that I have been doing, and like compiling all the information, all of the wisdom, all of the life experience, all wrapped up into this body that's like ready to be of service to the world and share my service with the world and show up, show my face and my voice. because I believe that I can do this. I'm really kind of over this. Yeah, it just doesn't feel like it serves me anymore to think anything else, like to think that I'm not worthy or I'm not capable or that I'm not blah, 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 blah. And it's just not the case. I don't know. A lot of things have shifted greatly for me in the last couple of weeks. I turned 27. Y'all know that on Instagram. Don't think y'all know that on YouTube unless you're a really OG person that has followed me from the very get-go. And so I hope that this live stream has served you. I'm going to save it on my Instagram and I'm going to save it on my YouTube channel for you guys to watch. And I just wanted to say some gratitudes to my Patreon subscribers that are already on my Patreon. Yika, Phoebe, and John. Thank you both. Three, for loving me and believing in me and trusting me and just being there and just reminding me that it ain't nothing to support you. Even though it is. No one's said that, but it's been known that, like, yes, I'm going to support you. And it's so reassuring to know, like, the energy that I have that does that too. Oh, I can receive that too? I can receive that? People can love me as much as I love them? Oh! I have to be open to receive, right? If I'm not open to receiving, what am I actually giving? Ouch. So here's to receiving and to giving. I'm so honored. I want to thank my grandma for gifting me this drum for my 27th birthday and for just being such a strong presence in my life. And to my great grandma that birthed her, and to the mothers and fathers that birthed her, and all of my other ancestors that brought me into being. I want to thank them. And for all the things that hold me in this life and keep me afloat and so blessed. The fuel in my car, for the tires on my wheels, for the mechanics and the farmers, the bugs that contribute to the ecosystem, that bring me my food and help nourish and heal my gut, for the sun that feeds us all, and without, we would have no life, no meaning, no purpose, no consciousness, no pleasure, no joy. And for my home, these four walls. And for you, for tuning in. Thank you for all that have commented. For Dante, Miss Honey, thank you for your contribution through your comments. And if you feel so compelled and called, I encourage you to check my link to my PayPal and Venmo and leave a donation if you feel so inclined. Uncomfortable, but necessary to put out there, as this is my work. And if you're not able to do that, I hope you receive this with like the biggest heart, and hope it deeply nourishes you. And I want to thank all of the people and all of the resources that I have been gifted in my life at no cost. There's been so many free resources that have come to me in my life, and I feel so honored to have been able to receive that and to gift it forward by the way that I am, by the way that I walk in the world, and as a part of my service and the consciousness that I have been really like sitting deeply with and living in my life of like paying for the world that I want and for the people that I support and the establishments that I support. And so I'm grateful that I have been consciously giving my dollar and my attention to these things that I feel like are really serving the betterment of the world. And so with that, thank you for your time. And all the links will be either in my bio on my Instagram or on my YouTube video description box. Please check them out, share them, and I will see you all very soon, hopefully on my Patreon. Thank you for your time.